Tales of treasure inspire writers, dreamers, and adventurers. But the greatest treasures shape the fate of nations. The lost gold of Scotland is one such fortune. 6 chests containing an estimated 35,000 gold coins. Today's value, tens of millions of dollars. The gold was meant to fund the Jacobite uprising of 1745, led by Prince Charles Edward Stuart, a Scottish rebellion against England. But the treasure arrives too late. The war is lost. The fleeing rebels bury the gold somewhere in the Scottish Highlands. More than 250 years later, it's still missing. Now, a world-class historian has a groundbreaking lead: unexplored ruins matching accounts of where the gold was hidden. And a famous explorer has discovered a map pinpointing a lost hideout that may conceal a treasure. So, is the fabled fortune real or just the stuff of legend? I'm heading to the Highlands to dig up the truth behind Scotland's rebel gold. I'm here to meet Gregor Ewing, a leading expert on the lost rebel gold and the prince at the center of the legend. Okay, so let's talk kind of basics here. Who is this guy? Who is Bonnie Prince Charlie?
Well, he was a young guy. He was 25 years old.
Right.
And he picked up that nickname when he was in Edinburgh, and the girls saw him and said, well, look at that Bonnie Prince. And
He's a good-looking guy.
Thereafter, the name stuck.
So who is he in their family?
So what happened was that James II, who was Bonnie Prince Charlie's grandfather, was chased from the throne of the UK.
Okay, so this uprising is like a real-life Game of Thrones, but with way more characters and fewer dragons. So, buckle up. It's 1603, and Scotland and England unite under this guy, James Stuart, King of Scots. The throne passes to his son, Charles I, but being king kind of goes to his head, which promptly gets lopped off. And things only go downhill from there. His son, Charles II, is a king in name only, and this dude, Oliver Cromwell, aka Tywin Lannister from Game of Thrones, holds the real power. Charles II dies suddenly. Some say he's poisoned, which is like the #1 way to kill kings for some reason, and his brother, James II, takes the throne. James here may have a heavy metal wig, but he's also a Catholic, which means the Church of England isn't exactly a fan. So in 1688, they give him the boot and he's shipped off to France. See you later, have fun, enjoy the croissants. Supporters of the exiled king, calling themselves Jacobites, launch a series of failed rebellions. Fast forward to 1745, and here's where our guy comes in, Bonnie Prince Charlie. Yay! He's the grandson of the exiled king, and he sails from France back to Scotland to mount a final effort to reclaim his family throne. Whew. Oh, and don't worry, there won't be a quiz later. So he comes over here, and what is he packing? Does he have an army with him?
He arrives in one single boat with just 7 followers. So we've got a guy here who's going to invade the UK with just 7 followers.
Either he's crazy, or he's a man with a plan.
He has a plan. He's been communicating with the Highland chiefs. The Highland chiefs still view the Stuarts as the rightful monarchs of Scotland.
Many of these clan chiefs feel that the English are stripping away Scottish rights, so they rally behind Bonnie Prince Charlie, who they're convinced will be a better king for Scotland.
They raise an army and they march quickly. They take the first big town they come to, Perth. They take Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland.
They take Edinburgh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's doing great.
He's doing great. Keeps pressing forward and gets as far as Derby. He's 150 miles from London.
So he's on the doorstep of the throne, really?
Yeah, they're on the doorstep. And that's as far, though, as the Highland chiefs are going to go.
Prince Charlie promises the clan chiefs that they'll have financial and military support from the French, an arrangement he'd made while still in exile. But the crucial aid has yet to arrive, so instead of pressing forward, Charlie is forced to retreat. The rebels withdraw all the way to Inverness, with the British in pursuit. They face off at the brutal Battle of Culloden. Decimated by a bigger, better-equipped army, 1,500 Highlanders fall in less than an hour. The uprising is crushed. Prince Charlie and his troops flee for their lives. Hunted by the British, Charlie spends 6 months on the run. crisscrossing the Western Islands and somehow managing to elude capture in a game of cat and mouse through the remote frontiers of the Scottish Highlands.
The Sheep's Head, where we're sitting right now, allegedly, Bonnie Prince Charlie stayed the night here. Look at this.
This is him! So Charlie was here.
Possibly where we're sitting right now.
So I followed the story up in Loch Arkaig in the Highlands. Now, many people believe the gold was there. Do you think it was there?
I believe it was there. It was passed into the hands of Cluny McPherson.
So who is Cluny McPherson?
Cluny McPherson is the right-hand man, the most trusted military general of the Jacobite uprising.
So he's one of Charlie's big supporters.
He's Charlie's best friend.
What does McPherson do with the gold?
He's on the run.
Just like many other Highlanders under British rule, Cluny McPherson is stripped of his land, his castle, and his heritage. Cluny and Prince Charlie end up hiding out together. Charlie eventually escapes to France, leaving the gold with Cluny for safekeeping. The treasure is never seen again. Chris carefully unveils a rare gem from the museum's collection. An interlocking map of the Central Highlands from 1783.
But I want you to have a look at the same area. Do you see anything missing on this map?
Yes, the cave. There's no mention of it. It's not on here.
It's not there, right?
The whole western side of the loch is just blank.
So then, I want you to have a look on the opposite bank of the loch.
On the eastern side?
Yep, you can see trees down here, right? But look at the tiny letters between the trees. Read that out.
Place where C.S. hid himself, 1746.
Think about CS. What might that mean?
Charles Stewart?
On the button.
It's literally on the opposite side of the loch. And the year is right, 1746.
Absolutely.
That's Charlie.
You're looking at a treasure map, Josh.
We scour the area for the place where C.S. hid, and Cluny watched over the gold. Oh, look at this! This is not natural.
Nature doesn't make rectangles.
That's a foundation.
We might be the first people out here since it was built. We followed a series of clues to where it was marked on the map that Prince Charlie hid. And right here, we found the foundations of an unmapped McPherson cottage.
That's incredible.
It's quite remarkable.
If this is the foundation of Cluny's cage, we just solved a 250-year-old mystery. To sniff out any traces of the treasure Cluny was protecting, Emil sets up a series of probes that will send electrical pulses into the ground, enabling us to see whatever lies below.
We push this button here.
By measuring the time it takes the current to travel between each probe, he can build a virtual image of soil disturbances and reveal any anomalies buried beneath our feet. All right, Emil, you've electrocuted the ground. What did it tell us?
It tells us that we have a very thin layer of soil,
Okay, so how much soil before you hit bedrock?
probably about 2 feet,
So if somebody dug a pit here and buried something, it's probably fairly shallow.
very shallow.
Any interesting potential targets?
I would say in front of the house, where the soil looks a bit more turned over, just about 8 feet from the wall. And I think that's where we should take the metal detector and start detecting.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, it's a coin.
It's not a coin. Look at it.
That's a coin.
It's not. Look. It's a button. I'm telling you, that's a button.
You're right. That's a button. Do you see that little strap of green?
Yeah.
It's copper.
Yeah.
That's what they made their buttons with. That is a copper Jacobite button. That's a significant find.
The idea that somebody was walking around, they were wearing this hundreds of years ago. This is incredible.
What you've discovered already is probably going to inspire a field study of this cottage, for sure.
It's not a gold coin, but that's a little piece of history right there. Ashley will continue to investigate what very well may have been Cluny and Prince Charlie's hideout. We leave confident that we've unearthed part of a secret rebel network, shining a light on a dark period of Scottish history. By arriving too late to save the rebellion, the gold altered the fate of Scotland forever, unleashing years of hardship. Forced to abandon their ancestral land for brighter prospects in the New World, today, more people of Scottish heritage live in the United States than in Scotland. Prince Charlie died in exile in France, but his name and his rebellion are far from forgotten.